There's a strange thing about life. It gives its hardest lessons to the people who care the most, who try the hardest, who love the deepest. And yet, those same people are often the ones who feel the most broken, the most lost, the most unfocused. You might have been told, be strong, be wise, stay focused, as if those qualities are switches you can flip on. But you and I both know it's not that easy. Real strength isn't built in moments of comfort. Wisdom doesn't come from reading quotes. And focus isn't something you magically wake up with. Here's the truth. Life will test you, betray you, disappoint you, and confuse you. But in that chaos, in that pain, that's where you're shaped. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, once wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wasn't just a motivational quote for him. It was a weapon, a mental sword he carried through betrayals, loss, pressure, and war. Because while the world outside tried to shake him, the war that mattered most was inside. And that's exactly what this video is about. You will be strong, you will be wise, you will be focused, not by pretending to be perfect, not by copying others, but by becoming more of yourself, by learning what life was trying to teach you when you were going through hell. You don't need to fake strength. You already have the pain. You just need to transform it. This transformation isn't loud. It doesn't happen when people are watching. It happens in silence, when you're alone with your thoughts, when you choose discipline over distraction, when you look in the mirror, not to judge yourself, but to rebuild yourself. Maybe right now you feel weak. Maybe you've made mistakes. Maybe you're tired of starting over. But listen closely. This is not the end. This is the moment where everything can begin again. If you listen, if you learn, if you choose to change. Strength is not shouting. It's silence under control. Wisdom is not having all the answers. It's knowing when to ask better questions. Focus is not locking yourself away. It's filtering what really matters and cutting off what doesn't. This video will walk you through 6 powerful lessons inspired by the writings and reflections of Marcus Aurelius, but more importantly, shaped by your reality. Each lesson is about taking pain, confusion, and frustration and forging something unbreakable out of it. This is not about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you were before the world taught you to doubt yourself. You'll see how silence can become your power, mistakes can become your teachers, discipline can become your comfort, and emotional pain can become your guide. So don't skip any parts of this video. Every point is a step on your journey toward becoming strong, wise, and focused. And before we dive in, like the video, comment your thoughts at each stage, and share this with someone who's silently fighting their battles. Subscribe to the channel if you believe in becoming better every day, not just when life is easy, but especially when it's hard. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I will be strong, I will be wise, I will be focused. Now let's begin. Number 1, your pain is not a curse. It's your invitation to power. There's a moment in everyone's life when they ask, why is this happening to me? Maybe you've been there. A breakup that shattered you. A betrayal that felt like a knife in your back. A failure that made you feel worthless. And in that moment, everything in you screams, this is unfair. But what if pain is not your punishment, but your pathway? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Let that sink in. What you think is blocking you is actually building you. Pain is one of the few things that strips away all the noise. It shows you who's fake in your life. It shows you where you've been avoiding responsibility, and it reveals the strength you didn't know you had. Most people avoid pain at all costs, But Stoicism teaches something different. It tells us to walk into it with purpose. Because here's what pain does. It sharpens your awareness. It humbles your ego. It teaches you what truly matters. You become stronger not by escaping pain, but by understanding it. Pain forces you to stop pretending. It wakes you up. You suddenly realize that things you once thought mattered, status, attention, praise, mean nothing. What matters is peace. And peace doesn't come from what you get. It comes from what you overcome. Think about it. When were you the most honest with yourself? When did you stop lying to others and face your reality? It wasn't in comfort, it was in crisis. That's not weakness, that's a gift. The world wants you to believe that pain breaks you. But the truth is, it reveals the unbreakable parts of you. So next time you're hurting, don't just ask, why me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Let it be the fire that refines you, not the weight that destroys you. Let it push you to grow. Let it remind you that your deepest scars can become your strongest weapons if you choose to rise. You are not broken. You are being forged. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My pain is my power. Number 2. Silence is not weakness. It's strategy. We live in a loud world. Everyone's talking. Everyone's posting. Everyone's trying to prove something. But in all this noise, the people with real power say less. They listen more. They observe. And they move with intention. You might feel like you need to explain yourself to people, defend your choices, justify your silence. But listen to Marcus Aurelius. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. In other words, stop explaining. Start becoming. The truth is, most people don't really want to understand you. They just want to confirm their own opinions. When you're silent, you're not hiding. You're conserving energy. You're watching patterns. You're mastering control. Because silence gives you space. Space to think, to feel, to grow. A focused mind doesn't chase every distraction. A wise heart doesn't react to every insult. And a strong soul doesn't announce every move. You know who's in control? The person who doesn't feel the need to prove it. When you stay silent, you stop feeding toxic people. You stop giving away your energy to the wrong places. You create mystery, and mystery builds power. There's a reason lions don't roar all day. They don't need to. They're feared for what they can do, not what they say. That's you now. Every time you choose silence over drama, patience over reaction, you're building an inner fortress. You're not suppressing your emotions, you're refining them. And that kind of control, that's rare, that's strength. Don't confuse silence with weakness. Weakness is being loud with no purpose. Strength is being quiet, with clarity. Even in relationships, silence is power. You don't need to chase someone to prove your worth. Your absence will say everything. If they truly valued you, they'd notice the silence more than your words. And if they don't, then you just saved your energy for something better. Silence doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're prioritizing peace. The world pushes you to speak fast, react faster, and prove yourself constantly. But you're choosing stillness, and stillness is power. So the next time someone misunderstands you or life pushes you to react, remember, your silence is not a weakness. It's your wisdom speaking without words. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My silence is my strategy. Number 3, focus is saying no, not yes. Most people think focus is about trying harder, staying up later, hustling more. But real focus isn't about doing everything, it's about doing less, intentionally. Marcus Aurelius said, if you seek tranquility, do less. Not in the lazy sense, but in the wise sense. Do less of what doesn't matter. less of what drains you, less of what distracts you from who you're becoming. Focus isn't built by adding more tasks, it's built by subtracting noise. You can't be strong, wise, or focused if your energy is being pulled in 100 directions. The modern world is designed to scatter your mind. Notifications, opinions, comparisons, trends. Everyone's trying to rent space in your head for free. You have to take that space back, and it starts by learning the power of no. No to people who drain you. No to habits that keep you stuck. No to distractions disguised as opportunities. Every time you say no to something unimportant, you're saying yes to something powerful, you. Marcus in his journals show one thing: clarity. He kept asking, what is essential? That's the question you need to ask yourself every single day. What is essential for your peace, for your growth, for your vision? You don't. That's what burns people out. They spread themselves thin, trying to be everything to everyone, and end up being nothing to themselves. Focus is fierce, it's ruthless, it cuts through comfort and demands discipline. But here's the good news. Every time you choose focus, you feel more in control, more alive, more you. Try this. Start your day by identifying the 3 things that actually matter today. Not 10, just 3. Then protect those 3 things with everything you've got. That's focus. That's growth. And if someone doesn't understand your focus, that's fine. They're not supposed to. It's not their journey, it's yours. You don't need to explain your discipline to people who are addicted to distraction. You just need to keep building, because the more focused you are, the less approval you'll need. And that, right there, is freedom. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My focus is my freedom. Number 4, wisdom begins when you question your own ego. There's a strange illusion we all fall into, thinking we already know. I know what I'm doing. I know who's wrong. I know what's best. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change. For I seek the truth by which no one was ever truly harmed. That's wisdom, not stubbornness, not arrogance, but humility, the kind that listens, the kind that grows. If you want to be wise, you must learn to doubt yourself intelligently, not in a way that paralyzes you, but in a way that frees you from illusion. The ego loves certainty. It wants to be right, even when it's wrong. It wants to be admired, even when it's not earned. It wants to win, even when the battle destroys you inside. But true wisdom isn't found in ego. It's found in letting go of needing to be the smartest person in the room, and instead being the most teachable. You grow the most when you apologize first. Admit you were wrong. Ask better questions instead of making louder statements. You can't learn if your pride is louder than your curiosity. You can't evolve if you keep defending outdated beliefs. Wisdom often sounds like this. Maybe I don't know yet. Let me think more before reacting. What if I'm the one who needs to grow here? That mindset? That's how you rise above the average. Because most people stay stuck, not because they're stupid, but because they're stubborn. They mistake ego for confidence. They confuse defensiveness for strength. But Marcus didn't live that way. He ruled an empire but still wrote to himself like a student. You can be powerful and humble, strong and still open, sure of your path, but willing to admit when you've taken a wrong turn. Wisdom is a quiet teacher. It whispers. You have to silence your pride to hear it, and the moment you do, life starts to shift. You start noticing patterns in people. You stop blaming and start learning. You stop reacting and start responding. You don't need to win every argument. You don't need to always be right. You just need to be honest with yourself first. So, from today, Every time your ego flares up and tells you, defend yourself or don't back down, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me grow or just feeding my pride? If you want wisdom, you must make space for it. And that space opens up when ego steps aside. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose growth over ego. Number 5, emotional control is the foundation of all power. Imagine this. Someone insults you, disrespects you, lies about you, and you feel that fire rise inside your chest, the heat, the tension, the urge to clap back. Now pause. What you do next will decide everything. Will you react or will you respond? Marcus Aurelius said, "You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you." He didn't mean you shouldn't feel emotions. He meant you don't need to be controlled by them. Emotional control isn't about being cold, it's about being clear. It's the ability to stand in chaos and remain centered, to feel your emotions, then choose your reaction, instead of letting your emotions choose it for you. Here's the truth. Anyone can scream. Anyone can throw a tantrum. Anyone can argue. But it takes real strength to sit in silence, to observe your feelings without obeying them. You are not your anger. You are not your sadness. You are not your anxiety. You are the observer of these emotions. And when you remember that, you reclaim your power. Emotional control looks like this. Not texting back when you're heated. Taking a walk instead of picking a fight. Saying, let me think about this instead of attacking. It's not weakness, it's war strategy. Most people are emotional slaves. They let others press their buttons. They overreact, then regret it. And the worst part, they call it being real. But being real isn't losing control, it's mastering it. Think of a calm person in a storm. Are they weak or are they powerful in ways no one can see? People will push you. Life will test you, but your calmness, that's your weapon. It unsettles people who can't control themselves. It earns you respect without saying a word. And here's the deeper truth. When you control your emotions, you also gain clarity. You see things as they are. You make better decisions. You stop living in reaction mode and start creating your life with intention. So next time you feel that storm rise, breathe. Watch it. Don't chase it. You don't have to become the emotion. You can simply feel it and let it pass. That's real power, and it's rare. Be the rare one. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My emotions don't control me. I control them. Number 6. Discipline will save you when motivation fails. Let's be honest. There are days when you don't feel like doing anything. You're tired, you're frustrated, you feel like nothing's working. And in those moments, motivation disappears. This is where most people give up. But not you, because you're about to understand one of the most powerful truths of Stoic wisdom. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being." This wasn't just poetic advice. It was war training for the soul. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. It's unreliable. But discipline is a decision. It's the quiet voice that says, get up anyway. You don't brush your teeth because you're motivated. You do it because it's necessary. You don't train your body, control your mind, or protect your peace only when you feel like it. You do it because your future self depends on it. Discipline means showing up when no one's watching, when there are no likes, no praise, no energy, just you, your standards, and your why. You want to be strong? Be disciplined. You want to be wise? Be consistent. You want to be focused? Create habits, not just hopes. Because discipline turns chaos into order. It builds structure around your purpose. And most importantly, it creates trust with yourself. That's right. When you show up for yourself, again and again, even when it's hard. You start to believe in your own strength, not the fake kind that shows off, but the quiet kind that carries weight without complaint. Discipline doesn't mean burnout. It doesn't mean being hard on yourself. It means being devoted to your growth, even when you're tired, especially when you're tired. There will be mornings you don't want to rise, nights when everything feels like too much. But if you get up and take one step, just one, you've already won. Start with the smallest commitment. 10 minutes of focus. One honest conversation with yourself. One toxic habit avoided. Stack those days. Over time, they build an unshakable you. People chase motivation because it feels exciting, but the ones who win in life are those who chase discipline because it's reliable. When Marcus faced war, betrayal, and grief, he didn't wait to feel inspired. He wrote, he reflected, he ruled with discipline, because discipline is how you lead yourself first. So, stop waiting for perfect conditions. Start acting with purpose. Your future self is watching. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. Discipline is my superpower. Now you've heard the truth. Not soft motivation, not empty hype, but real, battle-tested wisdom. You will be strong. You will be wise. You will be focused. Not because you were born that way, but because you are choosing it, moment by moment. Marcus Aurelius never lived in easy times. He lost children. He was betrayed. He ruled during a deadly plague. And yet, he kept writing, kept showing up, kept reminding himself, you have power over your mind. You do too. Maybe life has hurt you. Maybe people have abandoned you. Maybe you've failed more times than you can count. But every scar on your soul can become part of your armor if you refuse to stay broken. Let today be the day you stop chasing approval. Stop reacting to noise. Start building yourself in silence. Strength isn't loud. Wisdom isn't flashy. Focus isn't dramatic. They're quiet, disciplined, earned. And now they belong to you. Your pain has meaning. Your silence has value. Your discipline has direction. You've already walked through fire. Now walk with purpose. Because the world doesn't need another perfect person. It needs someone real, someone strong, wise, and focused enough to rise through the storms without losing themselves. That person, that's you. And if this video meant something to you, don't keep it to yourself. Like the video, share it with someone who's silently fighting battles you may never see. Comment your favorite lesson. Subscribe to this channel if you're ready to live a life of true power, quiet, real, and stoic. I want you to drop this final affirmation in the comments. I am becoming stronger, wiser, and more focused every single day. Stay grounded, stay silent, stay powerful, and remember, you are not behind in life. You are just beginning your rise.